are three knives that I really like. They're all knives that are upgrades of already decent knives. This is the Spyderco Cali 3 in carbon fiber, the ZDP 189 blade. It's actually a laminate of ZDP 189 and 420J. This is the Benchmade 940-1, which runs an S90V blade. And this is the ZT Zero Tolerance, so it's the Zero Tolerance ZT0450CF ZDP. And this is the 450 with a carbon fiber handle scale and ZDP 189 blade. All three of these knives are exceptional knives. They're all relatively light. This is the fattest one at 3 ounces. This is 2.44 ounces, and I think this one is exactly 2.4 ounces. And all of them are upgrades of an existing knife that was pretty good to begin with. And I wanted to talk about all these knives together because I think it's interesting to look at how the market treats these sorts of upgrades. This knife was released in a relatively limited run. This knife was not released in a limited run, but I think they have stopped production. And this knife was the same thing. It was not a limited run, but they have stopped production. This is actually officially out of production. I think, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about is the handle scale. I like carbon fiber. I think it's a nice material. It makes things light. But it's not something that I view as a premium. Number one, it's not hard to find. It's man-made. So you want carbon fiber, you just make more of it. It's also not much of a weight savings over something like this, which is just G10. I mean, if you look at all of the knives that come in both G10 and carbon fiber, you'll notice that there's no weight difference. And the reason why is because carbon fiber weighs nothing, or does not weigh less per, per square inch or whatever than G10 does. It is, in some instances, it's really quite grippy. Like here, this is pretty smooth. This is not quite as smooth. And this actually has some texture to it. And so, you can get it as grippy as you want, just like G10. So I think that really what's going on here is that carbon fiber, more than being a premium, is a signifier of a premium. It's not a premium. It's just something that lets people know, okay, this is the nicer version. And I don't mind that. That's fine. The real thing that I think is interesting about these three knives is that they are significantly better than their counterparts. The VG10 on this knife, I mean, this knife has fantastic ergonomics. This is probably the most ergonomic of the three knives. But the VG10 just did not work for me. I did not like the Cali 3 or any other knife in VG10. So getting it with this ZDP 189 blade is really, really nice. I also like the fact that it's a laminate, and you can see there's a lamination line, and it just looks cool. It looks cool, and it's very nice to use. So this is a real and substantial upgrade. I would buy this knife over the Cali 3, almost regardless of price. And the price wasn't that big of a difference. This knife, the price is significantly more, but it too is an upgrade. The regular 940 runs, it used to run 154 CM, but now it runs S30V, and S90V is a substantial upgrade. It will hold an edge basically forever. I have never sharpened this knife. I've carried this knife and used this knife quite a bit, and I've stropped it, but in the almost 3 years that I've owned it, I have never sharpened it. It is amazing. I really, really like this knife and its blade steel. And I would also buy this knife over the regular 940, even with the price difference. This knife is something that's very strange to me. So I had the original ZT0450, and it was a good knife. It ran titanium on both sides and S35VN, which is a great blade steel. But for me, the reason I didn't like the knife was the flipping action was weird. If you put your fingers like right here on the old one, it would not open. Now, see, like if I squeeze, it just doesn't open. Now, if I put my fingers anywhere but this point right here, I can get it to open. See, I'll put my fingers there, and it opens fine. So I don't know if they tune something differently, or they make them different, or I got a bum version because it was one of the first ones made. Whatever the difference is, that alone makes this a knife worth going out and trying to track down. And then you add on to the fact that it has ZDP 189 blade steel, which is one of my favorite blade steels. And again, this is the model to get. And so, for me, and this is probably not for everybody, the reason why I would bother with all of these upgraded versions is not the carbon fiber, but really the blade steel. If they made these knives with, you know, the exact same materials as the originals, but with the same blade steel, I'd probably get them. This knife is a little different in that I think the performance is better on the flipping action, but you get the point. There are real differences. There are real reasons to buy limited edition knives, but it is probably not the carbon fiber. At least it's not for me. And one thing that tells me that's the case is this knife. This knife is the Benchmade 5551, and it is a G10 version of the mini grip. And it is awesome. It's a great, great pocket knife. But it has 20 CV steel, which is a really, really good, very good all-around steel, very similar to M90. And I like this knife even though it has the so-called non-premium G10 material. So, if you get a chance, go and check out any of those knives. I'll have a review of this knife up on Outdoors soon, and the other three already have reviews up on the website. But just wanted to do a little talk about premium knives, or limited edition versions of regular knives.